Joining us now of The Ringer, as he does every Thursday at 3 o'clock, the great Sheil Kapadia. Hey, Sheil.
What's up, my friends? How we doing?
Sheil, we're doing pretty good.
What up, Sheil?
Sheil, started the show today, and I'm not known as a positive guy here, generally. I'm usually like the pick the team apart guy or whatever. And I thought to myself, with all the negativity surrounding the team, in and outside the team, I said, when they take the field on Sunday, I asked people to take our positivity pledge, that they would do two things, that they would give the offense a standing ovation when they walked out onto the field, and that they would not boo for the first quarter. So 3 and outs, give them a break. Do you or do you not think that would help the Eagles even a little bit?
No, I don't think that would help. I think that's un-Philadelphian, if I'm being honest.
Oh, my God.
There we
grew up
go.
going to games with my dad at the vet. I mean, part of the thing of being an Eagles fan is that a 3 and out in the first quarter, you are allowed to boo regardless of what else is happening with the team, how many games they've won in a row. That is part of the experience. So no, I would not take that positivity pledge, although I respect where you're coming from. You're trying to change up the juju a little bit.
I'm just trying to help a little bit. It doesn't seem like anything's working, so I thought maybe it would help. So it seems like the game on Monday night, the immediate reaction was, what a disaster on offense. As time has gone on, I don't know if it is people coping or trying to make themselves feel better, but people, the film people in general, I don't think the fans feel this, but the film people went and watched back and said, you know what? It's not quite as bad as we thought. We saw some new things. So I guess my question is, from Monday night's game, do you feel, forget about your initial watch, after you rewatched it, do you feel better about the offense moving forward or worse?
Yeah, I feel about the same, but I do understand that perspective that you watch it back on film, and they did try different things than they had tried earlier in the season and throughout the season. Just different ways to attack zone coverage, taking shots downfield, different route concepts, more under center play action, and Jalen Hurts, completed a couple of those passes for explosive plays. So if you wanted to look at it and say, is this just more of the same? They're doing exactly what they've done all year. Then you would say, well, at least this was a little different. Now, they failed. Obviously, we all watched the game, whether you're watching it live or watching it on film. But if you were hoping for at least some change, hey, try something different at this point in the season because nothing else has worked. You saw little sprinkles of that. I don't want to go overboard, but you did see little sprinkles of that for sure.
Well, I mean, listen, Sheil, AJ catches 2 out of 3 of those balls that either fell incomplete or led to an interception. It also looks different from that standpoint as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's one of those things where we're all having this conversation. Is it Hurts? Is it Patullo? Is it Sirianni? Is it the offensive line? And I've said this all week that I could, send anyone a reel of 5 plays that would convince you Jalen Hurts is the problem. 5 plays that convince you, Kevin Patullo and Sirianni. 5 plays that convince you, it's the offensive line. And then to Ike's point, I could send you at least 3 plays, but I could probably find 5 plays that say, man, the wide receivers aren't doing their job either. So when it gets this bad, it's never just one thing, and it's all just kind of come together to lead to this offense struggling the way it is.
So I know this is hard to do because there were 5 turnovers. I am generally someone who thinks interceptions are a little overrated in terms of I don't think they are the worst thing in the world, but just to put the interceptions aside for a second, how do you think Jalen Hurts played overall, having watched the tape?
Yeah, I still think he played poorly. I mean, the big thing is what we've talked about throughout the season, and Devontae Smith said it the one week on the sideline, is just the plays that are there to be made. He is just inconsistent on when he's willing to pull the trigger on those plays. And I think we all know that's why the wide receivers have been frustrated this season, because you practice a play all week, you put it up on the whiteboard, you say, hey, if we get this coverage, this is where the ball should go. And sometimes he's looking at it, but he just doesn't trust it, and he's not willing to throw the football. And so there were examples of that for sure in this game. One of them, Devontae Smith, is on a deep post where it really felt like they had a chance for an explosive play, and he doesn't throw it. So those types of things seem to be showing up more and more. Now, in this game, he obviously didn't have the approach of, hey, I want to avoid turnovers at all costs, because there were throws he was making that I think he wouldn't normally make, but it was just kind of that inconsistency that I think led to some of the frustrations.
All right, so here's where I'm at with this thing, Sheil. Haven't completely workshopped this, so hang with me here. Now, to what they did Monday night, more complex offense. Jalen is being asked to do a little more. That leads to 5 turnovers. Not all his fault, but damn it, he got a whole bunch of stuff in his head. You got motions. You got all this stuff he's doing. It seems to be jumbled up in his head there as opposed to playing free of mind and clear of mind. So I say this to say, I don't want what I saw Monday night. Even though it looked better on paper, I'm more apt to go back to what he was doing that works for him, which is keeping the offense simple. Where's the middle ground there? Because I don't want the turnovers. Our best chances to win is when he does not turn the ball over. And I know that's going to cost us maybe some opportunities down the field, but I'd rather sacrifice that and keep the ball versus risking that and turning the ball over. Is there a middle ground there? Or like how do the Eagles sort of manage this?
Yeah, I think there is a middle ground. There's a balance, and it's almost been the story of the season. You could say it was the story of last season too, where, we were at this point in the season going, the passing game doesn't look right. And then all of a sudden, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, it looks a lot different, and he plays really well. So I don't think we should confuse sort of the changes with definitely being the reasons why he turned the football over. I mean, to your point, one of them goes off of A.J. Brown's hands. Now, that was a pretty short throw. That shouldn't be a high degree of difficulty, a high risk throw. Even the one to Devontae Smith, that's maybe their most popular route concept that they run more than any other play they run all season. So that wasn't like a new wrinkle, and that results in an interception. Even the last one, the RPO there on the last play of the game in overtime, that's a play that they have run. That's just an RPO. So I think there is a balance where some of the aggressiveness you saw with him finding windows downfield and making those completions, that can be mixed with, hey, maybe there was, I don't want to say flukiness, there were some bad decisions in there, but I don't think if you play that game over, 10 times, you're going to end up with 5 turnovers there. So I don't want to take that all away from him, is my point. I wouldn't coach it up and say, hey, we're not doing that anymore. Let's go back the way you're playing, because the fact is the run blocking is not there. The run game is not there. And so you need to make up for it somehow. And I think they tried that in this game.
Only thing I get worried about with that, Sheil, and I agree with a lot of what you said there. Again, that's why I said I'm workshopping it as we're talking through it here. They threw the ball 40-something times Monday night in a one-score game. He is not that's not what he does. Throw the ball 35-plus times, 40 times a game. I think they're 0-6 or 0-7 when he throws the ball 40 or more times. I only say that to say I think they got a little enamored with the throwing Monday night, and that led to him making that pass that he didn't need to make on first down. That should have been a running play, as opposed to him throwing the ball there to where it was intercepted on first down. I just think we can't get so caught up in wanting to throw the ball and forgetting that may not be his ultimate strength. The more you do that, the more likely something like that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I think they would love to be a running team, and they haven't been able to unlock that all season. And even in this game, man, Landon Dickerson is obviously not healthy in this game. Cam Jurgens does not look like the same guy we saw last year. Fred Johnson is playing right tackle. So they actually had some success with the under center runs. In the first half, you're going, I think maybe they've found something here. And maybe if they did stick with those a little bit more, maybe it would have looked good. But I think they probably look at it and say, man, we're still getting bullied a little bit up front with this O-line. And that's not something they're used to. I think that's at the heart of everything. That's at the heart of all the issues this year. I think they would have loved to come into this season and say, hey, we're going to run the football like we did last year, and we're going to be efficient and explosive, and they just haven't been able to unlock that. And so now they're trying to turn all these different dials, and they haven't been able to figure it out.
One last thing on the offense, show, because I spent almost an hour this morning listening to Nick Foles break down what happened on Monday night. And one of the things that he said he noticed, and I think this, I wonder if this is related to what you were talking about earlier about the wide receivers running these routes, not getting the ball, is that he said in screen passes, he does not believe the wide receivers are blocking very well at all. He sees low effort from the wide receivers just generally when they should be blocking. Did you see that rewatching the game? Did you see that at all?
100%. I mean, it is, for a head coach who has a history coaching wide receivers, and we give Nick Sirianni credit, rightfully so, when the guys are playing hard and they're playing tough in their effort. I mean, you watch those, and it's just like night and day with some of these other teams, like the Los Angeles Rams, when they throw a screen to the perimeter, the way those guys are locked in on blocking versus, the one you throw to Devontae Smith and, A.J. Brown just whiffs on the block and Devontae Smith is getting crushed. That's been an issue all season long. The perimeter screens have not worked, and those wide receivers have not blocked well all season long.
So one positive thing. The defense, I believed, it felt like it watching it live and then watching it again. To me, that was the best game overall that the defense has played this year. I know the Chargers scored 22 points, but it just seemed like in every facet, it's amazing. Without Jalen Carter, they seemed complete. Where do you think that game on Monday night ranked in terms of how the defense has performed this year?
Yeah, it's way up there. Now, I understand there were extenuating circumstances. The Chargers are down, 3 tackles in that game, and the quarterback's playing with an injured hand. But we've watched Eagles football long enough to know sometimes you get a situation like this, and still the defense doesn't take advantage. They took advantage in this game. Their pass rush was terrific. I think they pressured Justin Herbert more than any team has all season in an NFL game. Jordan Davis is coming on strong, which is a very nice development for this defensive line. And then, like you said, it was complete because the coverage on the back end, I mean, that's not a bad group of Chargers wide receivers. And I don't remember a single replay or anything on film where you say, that guy was wide open. They just couldn't get him the ball. I mean, Cooper DeJean was unbelievable in this game. Quinyon Mitchell was terrific. I would say it was Adoree Jackson's best game as an Eagle. And so you add all those things together. And yeah, I'm with you. That's why if you're holding out hope, you're going, man, we don't need the offense to be a juggernaut. You just need the offense to kind of reach a certain level of competency where, hey, this defense might be able to lead the way against most opponents.
So we've had a lot of potential get-right games for the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't always work out the way that we think they're going to. Sunday against the Raiders, that team stinks. So what is your prediction for Eagles-Raiders on Sunday?
Yeah, that's maybe the most lifeless team in the NFL, honestly, when you just watch them week to week. They have almost nothing going on. They got a good tight end in Brock Bowers, and they have a good pass rusher in Max Crosby, and that's about it. We listed all their positives. So this is a team that's going to be picking in the top 3 next year. So I think defensively, they're going to put a chokehold on this Raiders offense. I mean, if you thought that Chargers offensive line was bad, this Raiders offensive line might be as bad or worse. I think those are the 2 worst in the entire NFL. So I think you're talking about maybe another 7-sack game here. Offensively, I'm not going to come on and tell you they're definitely getting right. I would like to see them play a little bit better, but the truth is I don't know how much it's going to matter because I just don't think the Raiders are up for this. So I know it's a big line, and I know the Eagles have lost 3 in a row, but I'm going to go Eagles 23, Raiders 10, and so the Eagles cover that 11.5.
I like it. And that's still a score that'll make everybody mad.
Yeah, 23, 23, because 23 is only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 23-10.
Yep.
That's enough to make everybody mad.
Potentially, the Raiders are driving in the fourth quarter All right, Shiel, thank you as always, man.
All right, brother.
Next week.
There he is, the great Sheil Kapadia.